I am Severine Nassens, and I will be your host at this masterclass with Ivonne Delaflor. I just flew in from Mexico to meet with Ivonne here in Las Vegas. Now, Ivonne has gained my full trust as my personal coach and as my spiritual teacher. I was introduced to her teachings by a friend when, at a certain time in my life, I was literally going through hell. Now, Ivonne's teachings, and especially the 3 programs on the Sheepless Life Academy, have helped me to regain my personal power and to tool up and build an extraordinary life for myself and my family. For those who do not know Ivonne, let me tell you a little bit more about her. Now, Ivonne has authored 17 books, and for over 15 years, she has been working as a transformational coach. Ivonne has also set up a system. It's called the Transcendental Rebirthing System. And through that system, she has helped over 7,000 people regain the power and control over their personal lives. She is also a master teacher on the German futuring system. And with that, she has helped corporations, she's helped business people, families, parents, a whole lot of people regain the tools to build an absolutely brilliant future. And I'm very, very honored to be one of them. Now, without further ado, I welcome you to this masterclass. Thank you, Yvonne, for joining me here and for sharing this time with us in this masterclass. So one of the biggest questions is, how can we get rid or get past that fear of what others think of us?
Yeah, well, what others think of us has been ingrained in our culture, right? We have been raised in our society since we're really little, in our religions, in our schools, in our traditions, in a behavioral pattern way, how to behave rather than how to be. Mm-hmm. And so it's like we're in an automatic pilot mode most of the time, even in our responses to others. We think that becoming what others want us to be will give us a place in our society, in our reality, in our culture, in our circles of friends, and even in a status that we want to have in order to belong, right? Mm-hmm. And so I don't think that you can get rid of it without understanding it first. And that's why I created the Sheepless Life, right? Because, you know, without education, ignorance begins to grow and it begins to become like the filter of your reality. And so when you try to get rid, that's the first thing that people want everything in life to do. Anything that is uncomfortable, how can we get rid of this? How can I get rid of the uncomfortable situation I have right now with my spouse? How can I get rid of this pain that I have in my knee? It's a culture of quick solutions. Mm-hmm. But the work for the fear of what others think is not a quick solution. It requires consistent discipline in getting rid of all that we are not first. Because the person that is trying to comply or be complacent, I think that's how you say it, or that seeks for the love, approval, and appreciation of mm-hmm. others, right? And that is afraid of what others will react, it's not even the real person that we are. We have learned to be a fake being that suits that external world that we fear. So it's all of a fear-based reaction. It's all a fear-based decision that we are doing from a fake perspective of being. And so if we are not awakened to all of that fakeness in us, that we're not even doing it purposefully. We've been trained before. So you have to first wake up to the fact that you are trying to comply and please others based on a fake persona of yours, trying to please others that are maybe in their fake mode too, that they're also afraid of what you think of them. So it's like an illusory game. So getting rid of an illusion is an illusion in itself.
So we need to break through patterns.
Well, you not only break through patterns, you have to start doing the deeper work to go deep within and begin to, there's an old saying of the Golden Buddha. There's a good old story for this. And the Golden Buddha was hidden. There was a statue that was covered with plaster. And so that didn't mean the golden Buddha was not there. So, and then the statue covered with plaster was there, and all the monks were coming and didn't bow to that plaster statue. And one day one monk discovers, hey, there's something peeling off of this statue, and begins to peel off and peel off. It's like the peeling of the onion thing. And under it was the golden Buddha. But the process of discovery of the work of that, what happened was that the whole community of monks began to have awe. Began to have how was that we couldn't see that it was there before? And all their beautiful process of awakening, the golden Buddha was already in front of us. So we have to really do the work. We cannot skip it. There's no aspirin. Actually, the aspirin for trying to get rid of a fear, get rid of something that is uncomfortable, perpetuates the fear and just substitutes. Like you may have been afraid of your mom. What is my mom going to think if I'm going to decide to be? I don't want to have children, for example. And in my culture, right? All the women in my cultures, you have to have a child in order to be a successful woman. And you decide of all of your family lineage not to do that. But you're afraid what they will think of you. And the moment you decide, I'm not going to do that, you begin to peel off. Why was I afraid of, my mom? Why was I afraid of, my grandmothers? Why was I afraid of, it's hidden loyalty? But if you skip that, you will just transmute it into something else. So maybe you skip that, you fix it quickly, you run away from home. I do whatever I want, and my mom is away. But then suddenly you substitute that with alcohol. You start drinking alcohol, or you start being more masculine. You start doing a substitute because you are evading to look at why you are trying to seek the love, approval, and appreciation of others. And that is why you are afraid of what they will think of you. It's a perpetuation of a lie.
That's what I remember when I went through that process with you for the first time, is how many of the women we were involved in the course, in the program, how many discoverings we all did. We figured out so many things that we never thought we actually had hidden. And the Buddha example, I think it's a brilliant comparison, because we all discovered so many things deep inside. And yes, the work, it's a serious amount of work, but I'm very happy that you guided us through, and the way you guided us through that Sheepless Life program, the first program, is an amazing discovery of who we are and the brilliant being we really have inside of us, and how to get there. And moving onwards from there, leaving peeling off all of that garbage, peeling off all of those layers that we have on top of us. One of the next issues that we came across is, how do we get past wanting to get permission from others, and how we get past seeking the approval of others?
Yeah, just to go a little bit back to enter into the permission thing, because as you were asking me, I saw awe in your face. That's something you miss when you seek quick solutions. You miss the awe of life experience and who you are by looking for the quick fix. That a lot of women out there in the world are looking for that. If I transform my body into this plastic perfect Barbie doll, then I will get everything set up for me. If I have the money, if I have all of this, and it's just an illusion. And then they look for, without knowing who they are, they give into the fears of society, and then they are seeking for permission to be free. They're seeking for permission to do the work. And they are seeking to get free from the approval of others, but they are still stuck into trying to get it fixed quickly. And so the permission really comes from within, but you will not find it until you have earned it. And the earning is not because you are not worth it. The earning it is not because you don't have it within you. But if you don't do the unlayering, guided and mentor and with precise work that gives sustainable results, then you're only going to be putting more plaster. You may be removing a little layer of the golden Buddha, and then as soon as you discover, there's something deep that is going to bring a lot of awe and ownership and elegance, and is going to free you because you are discovering it. But as long as you do that, that means work. As long as you do that, that means, oh my gosh, all the stories of me blaming my mom, oh my gosh, all the stories of my dad never gave me permission are not true. So, but what do I do now? So the seeking for permission, the finding the approval within, it's really where the work begins. It's the most easy, now it's still work, is to unlayer. You get the mentor, you get the program, you go through the Sheepless Life Academy, which we have very precise tools to go through each of these unlayerings without you missing the awe of who you are, right? But then seeks the permission is like, oh, that's when you get to fully be responsible for your creation. And that's when many people quit, because they prefer to leave the stories to, you are the one meant to, heal me, soothe me. You are the one, I discover who I am, and the golden Buddha is inside of me, but you are meant to make the money for me. You are meant to soothe my wounds. So now it's not only me looking for the quick fix, now I need permission to be responsible for my creation.
So one of the things that amazed me most as we went through the entire program, the whole group of women, we came from all different parts of the world, different cultures, different backgrounds, different educations. We all speak different languages, but there's one key issue that I think most women are dealing with, is that we are looking for who we really are. And the Sheepless Life program has helped us, all of us, the ones that have participated and who have done the work, to really figure out who we are and who we came here to be. And I think that's absolutely amazing. I really want to thank you for that and acknowledge that the program that you have created has helped us set aside the fears, set aside also the fact that we are looking for permission from others to do, act, live, and thrive. And we have all found a way of giving ourselves that permission and taking action. And one of the major issues, as you said before, is some of them quit. Some of us actually said, this is how far I can go. How do you get people to actually go and do the work, take the action?
Wow, what a great question. I don't do anything for people to take action. But how the Sheepless Life is structured is that it takes you step by step, that you have to go through each. If you skip it, you will quit it. Whatever you skip in life, you miss it, you quit it, and you will repeat it. That's why a lot of people are living consistent patterns. And just before I answer that question, that is actually a really powerful one. And anyone that comes with that answer will have find the golden grail, a new grail in humanity. But one of the things that is the success of the Sheepless Life, even though we were with different cultures, religions, we had different religions, different languages and all of that, it was because it's a collective fear what people are going to think of you. It's collectively, it doesn't matter the religion, the language you speak, everybody wants to please someone, to belong. And in the pursuit of being who we are, that's ingrained in our soul, right? That the soul finds courage when it unites with others that have walked through the fire already. And those of us, like yourself, who walked through the fire already, become the permission slip that others need to take that action into their own essence, into their own truth. It's like they feel free to jump because they don't only see others doing it. It's not a copycat effect. It's not a modeling kind of thing. It's the soul feels called. It's really a soul call. This is what is called the hero's journey, which we really walk through it until the Sheepless Life 3, where most of the women wanted to quit, because it's when the going is tough. It's when when life shows you that you are capable of far much more than what you were taught of. You have to exit the status quo. You have to exit all the norms, all the traditions, all the religions, even the spiritual stuff, all the books. Everything has to be thrown away to meet you. And that's when you get so deeply scared. That's the real fear that I look people to feel. All the fear that people have felt in their life is fake. It's a prefabricated fear by society. And a lot of people are not taking action, not doing the work, because they're believing they have a fear that doesn't really exist. I want people to meet the real fear of meeting who they are. And when they meet it, and they walk with us through that fire, action is a natural evolution for the soul. And so they begin to take action. How you did it, how you went through it. And so many women, and they were like, that's why we say in the academy, and this is like kind of top secret, but we conquered the dragons. We conquer the dragons of our own fears, of our own misinterpretations of what we call reality, and that is a language that everyone speaks. Everybody understands soul language. Everybody understands being seen. Everybody understands being held without being rescued by someone that has walked through the fire, has survived it and thrived it, and when you see someone like that, didn't your soul want it to be there?
Absolutely.
Because you were born like that. And so when you meet that, it's like, I want that. It's not, and when you want that, you take that next step, and then you take that next step, and suddenly the golden Buddha begins to be peeled off naturally. And what appears to be painful begins to be just those calls for your own success. You begin to see, oh my gosh, that permission that I sought after before, I had it in me. Or that enemy that I thought I had, oh my gosh, that was my promoter. That adversity was my ally. You begin to empower yourself in the process, but you have to do the work, because the work you don't do, someone else will own it. And if you don't own your experience, your pain, your darkness, your light, etc., that we go through all of that through Sheepless 1, 2, and 3, then you miss it. And you miss the most incredible experience of your life, which is being you.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for creating amazing content, amazing paths for women to walk on, and for guiding us, for mentoring so many women throughout the world, throughout cultures, because you have left behind the concept of culture. You have left behind the concept of a herd to show us how to be an individual, own it, and conquer that dragon, that gorgeous dragon that we all have inside, and to thrive in life in any aspect we wish to, because we're all so very different. But it's the same path that as women we walk towards brilliancy and towards the creation of a brilliant future for all of us. And then I would like you to share with us just a little bit about the futuring aspect that you have put into this process.
Well, the futuring aspect was purposefully put until the last program, which is Sheepless Life 3.0. And people will have to walk through Sheepless 1, which is the foundational basis, to stop fearing what other people think. Then Sheepless 2, which is really, now that you walk that path, now you have to be radically you, and all that entitles. Because one thing, it's easy once you have stopped being afraid of what people think. It's easy to stay there in comfort. Mm-hmm. But then you dare to be radically you, and you begin to dare to lead your own life. You cannot lead others without you leading yourself, without you doing the work. When? Only 24 hours per day. It's 24/7. We speak about that in the academy, right? Once you find yourself, you're in a 24/7 mission. You are on call. You're on call to whatever higher call you've been, assigned in this life to work through. And futuring, which is an aspect that we share on Sheepless Life 3.0, which is where you're saying we're on a path of brilliancy that many people listening to this may not understand. I added it there because once you are radically you, if you don't have a goal, a vision where you are going to go back, no matter how high you are in your new knowledge or awareness, back to the default. You'll go back to the default of the teachers that came before us. You'll go back to the pump-up program of let's walk all on fire and get the aspirin effect of feeling high, and then look for the other and look for the other. You don't know where to go because the paths have already been paved before you. And so if you don't have a new vision, a new white canvas or where you want to go, that's futuring. then you will go back to default. In a higher state, yes, more conscious of who you are, but then you will consistently find again the plateaus. For me, I want consistent, sustainable breakthrough for human civilization. Consistent growth, because that's what evolution, we model after evolution. And futuring is a tool where you can design your own future. Now you don't go back to your mom, you don't go back to your path of the past, you don't go back to the emotional trash of the yesterdays, neither from your todays. Every day you make a decision to be a creator of your next step. How you're going to live your here and now and design it to go towards a certain path that leads you to more fulfillment, not success. Anybody can have success, but very few can live in fulfillment. And that's the path of brilliancy. And futuring is a very specific technique that it will be a disservice for me to teach it right now here, but it's something that you walk through and actually was the strongest program of the whole academy, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So that's a little bit. I hope that answered your question.
Yes, well, thank you so much. So Ivonne, please share with our audience the Sheepless Life. What does it mean? Where does it come from?
Well, actually, Sheepless Life actually came from a post in Facebook. And I'm going to share with you. I was reading Osho. And Osho had this thing, a very simple quote saying that the number one top fear that humans had was not the fear of death, not the fear of public speaking, but what others thought of them. And so when I posted it on Facebook and I did my own commentary, I got like the most engagement. And so I saw there was a need. And so I saw there was a need of people wanting to first not be afraid, right, of what others thought, and also they didn't want to be the sheep. And they were also afraid of being the black sheep of the family because not being of the sheep. So the name literally came to me, so they don't want to be a sheep, they don't want to be afraid, so let's be sheepless. So that's how it came from. Literally was based on that foundation of people being afraid of what others think of them, and also being afraid of being the black sheep of the family by following their heart. Like, kind of didn't make sense. It was out of congruency, right, for humanity that seeks to evolve. And so I created the first program, Sheepless Life 1.0, based on that, and I named it like that. And so the 1.0 program that is 8 weeks, it's solely based to help you specifically on that. One, not to be afraid of what others think of you, and two, not to be afraid also being called the black sheep. You know, it's a two-side sheep kind of mentality, right? We either are the sheep and we do and try to please others, or we are the sheep, the black sheep, because we are defying the system or something, and there's a balance, there's a way that you can exit both sheep states and being sheepless and being fully who you are. But that's what the Sheepless Life 1.0 is all about. And so from there, you know, the women that walked through that were like, now what I do? I don't care being the black sheep anymore because I'm not fighting with anyone. I found me. I'm not afraid of what others are going to say. I'm going to take that action. I'm going to have that courage. But how do I have the courage? So what do I do now with this courage? How do I do it? Where do I go? They didn't know. It's like giving a new car to a teenager that doesn't know how to drive it. You need a guide. So Sheepless 2.0, it's called Radically You. Once you know that you are not afraid, or you're going to still be afraid, right? But you have to step every day into and through that fear. We guide you in how to be radical. And radical not against anyone, but radically you. As soon as the old persona comes in, you take off the masks. This is something that we do, a lot of exercise. We do a lot of personal work. We do a lot of universal laws, mastery of your thoughts, mastery of your words. You have to master yourself. It's the mastery of yourself where all the idolatries come down. So that's being radically you. That's the 8 weeks of the Sheepless Life 2.0. And then after radically you are sheepless, you have the power of your thoughts, you know how the universal laws work, you know how your words do create realities, and you are radical. Now you are super proud that you are you, but then you got to create your future. Now it's not a world that you exist alone. You become an ancestor of the future generations once you know who you are. You begin to feel a responsibility that what you do, say, think contributes to either the higher good of humanity or to impoverish it. And so you got to start taking responsibility of your future. And so from the Sheepless Life 2.0, the women were like, and now what? I'm radical, and now what do I do with this power? You create, you design, and you design for good. And that's where I created Sheepless Life 3.0, which is called the future of whom? Of you. It's not the future of your mom, it's not the future of your past, it's not the future of some kind of defense of the pursuit of your freedom. It's no longer about that. So you are given the tools through a system called Futuring, where we teach you how to create and design futures from 4 perspectives. There are 4 types of futures: dark, dim, bright, and brilliant, which we go over with a lot of precision on the Sheepless Life 3.0. And we give you a way to map your future and design your reality and actualize your present moment in the here and now. And so now you are equipped. Now you don't have the excuse once you do Sheepless 1, 2, and 3 to go back. If you go back, it's because maybe you are entertained or you are kind of wanting a vacation from being you, that I don't think so. But that's what the Sheepless Life is, really. And I have seen a difference from the women that have taken only 1 program and the ones that did the 3 of them. The ones that did the 3 of them not only are thriving, but they are more solid. They're creating philanthropies. They are having incredible relationships. They're cutting with things that are dysfunctional in their lives. They are no longer attached to any dogma, bias, structure, book, teacher, and they are highly respectful and honoring of others. Those who skip some, they are still thriving, but there's still some foundational pieces that they missed out. And so that's why I really recommend doing 1, 2, and 3. It's literally a linear process. It's a hero's journey from the 1 to the 3rd that really sets people free. Doing the work, helping them be, stopping afraid of what others think. Number 2, being radically who you are. And 3, creating the future of you. And that's it.
Amazing. And what is next? Once we finish these 3 programs that are 8 weeks each, what comes after that?
Well, there's the ability to certify as a certified facilitator and keep supporting the women, because the women, once they graduate from Sheepless Life 3.0, an incredible bonding, you've experienced it with us, right? An incredible bonding occurs, and women dare to lead. Once they have crossed over that, the women dare to lead, and they want, it's just a natural progression of evolution. Once you know that you are an active participant in the evolution of your humanity, you want to support. You don't want to sit down and do nothing about it. Those who sit down and do nothing about it die with regrets. Mm-hmm. And once you have crossed over that, you want to be a creator, and you realize that you're a co-creator, right? And you're designing reality. So we developed that certification training for facilitators, or you can attend the boot camps, which are really like an in-depth, kind of like a taste of 1, 2, and 3, but physical work that can really literally help you change your life.
Amazing. Well, thank you once again for sharing your teachings, your powerful teachings with us. And I'm ready for a boot camp, shall we?
Yes.
So let's quickly recap what we have learned on this masterclass with Ivonne Delaflor. First, Ivonne told us about the importance of letting go of the fear of what others will think and say about us. Then we discovered that as we peel back the layers, we find the true essence, the golden Buddha we all have inside, and that the moment we take ownership of who we are, we no longer need the permission of others to live our life. And finally, we learned about the importance of taking action. Because you're still here with us, you understand the importance about taking immediate action and about taking ownership of who you are and really being able to live the life you want to live. Near this video, you will find a button to join the Sheepless Life Academy and gain instant access to the powerful teachings of Sheepless Life 1. That one is designed to help you lose the fear of others' opinions, unleash the voice and power from within. If you choose to, you can go on with Sheepless Life 2 to emerge in life being radically you and master the mental, emotional, universal, and spiritual laws that keep the universe functioning in the spirit of perfect harmony. Further on, we move into Sheepless Life 3, where you will learn the basics of futuring so you can design and manifest the life that you want. We have found that those who do the work know and understand it does not only affect them, but it affects everybody and everything that surrounds them. It will bring abundance to your family, it will bring abundance to your relationships, and it will totally change the way you do business, the way you move about and create your own life. We acknowledge your time and effort and have created an exclusive offer for you. Click on the button to join now to find out more. Know that the Sheepless Life Academy operates under a strict privacy policy. You will gain access to each session through an email that will be delivered to you week by week, so you can enjoy the powerful teachings from Ivonne in the privacy and comfort of your own home. When you are in flow with who you are, everything around you flows. Welcome to the Sheepless Life Academy.